Good morning, minions, and welcome to this week's instalment of No More Mr. Fat Guy TV. Now, this week I just want to talk about one topic in particular. It's going to be for a couple of different reasons, but the topic itself is the Virgin Money London Marathon 2014. Now, at the time of recording, it's actually just over 7 weeks away. In fact, it's correct in saying that 7 weeks from now, I will be currently en route to London. Not quite sure which part of the world I will be over, but I'll be in the sky, heading towards London, landing probably just about 48 hours before taking part in the event. And so the first part of wanting to talk about the London Marathon is a financial one, basically. We're basically the reason I'm doing it is I'm doing it as a charity runner. I'm doing it as part of a fundraising effort for the Heart Foundation of Western Australia. It's an absolutely fantastic cause, and so far, again, right now, I think we are headed towards, with the pledges that are in place, we're probably headed towards about $2,000 Australian. Now, we actually have a target to achieve over the next 5 weeks of $7,000. So obviously there's a slight deficit at the moment, so we're looking to drum up an extra $5,000. That would approximate to about an extra $1,000 a week over the next 5 weeks. So consider this to be my appeal to you that this is an amazing cause. There's a lot of people think that the Heart Foundation is just about raising money so that they can research into sort of techniques where, for treating heart disease, where they can provide equipment for sort of heart attack sufferers and people who need the operations and the post heart attack care. But there's also an awful lot of research that goes on through the Heart Foundation, through the fundraising efforts, research into the causes of heart disease, but also promotion and awareness of sort of the lifestyle issues that and lifestyle changes that can actually have an impact, and that's really, I think, why one of the main reasons I really got involved with the Heart Foundation is that alignment with the fact that I personally had made such a big change in my own lifestyle that I basically knew that I was probably only a couple of years away from becoming one of their statistics. I've made a number of changes in my life that have basically brought in exercise and more sensible eating, stop smoking, etc, etc, etc. And I know the positive impact that can have, just the difference that it can have in the way that you feel, in the way that you approach life, and sort of energy levels, and just feeling better about life in general. And I think the promotion of a healthier and better lifestyle that the Heart Foundation are actively engaged in is a very positive thing, and it's something that is fully deserving of support. So please, if you're a corporate sponsor, potentially a corporate sponsor, then please consider making this one of your charitable sort of donations of this financial year. I mean, obviously you get the tax write-off benefits, but you also get the warm fuzzy feeling of knowing that you've used some corporate that you've used some corporate dollars for the benefit of society as a whole. If you're an individual, obviously appreciate that the economic climate is not fantastic. That money doesn't always stretch particularly far. But whatever you can spare is very much appreciated, and everybody that's donated so far, that's appreciated as well. The money back that came from the Run Down Under this week, from Travis of Corporate Challenge events, absolutely amazing, and thank you so much for that. The pledges that are in place from people like Ian of Run Around the World, that are basically $250 from every booking that's made for the Gold Coast Marathon retreat. If you quote No More Mr. Fat Guy, if you're going to go to the Gold Coast Marathon and you'd like to put together a bit of a running based retreat with workshops and guest speakers and stuff, book it through Run Around the World. tell them that No More Mr. Fat Guy sent you, and at the same time, without costing you any more dollars, $250 is going to be dropped into our fundraiser. So if you could do that, that'd be amazing. The shirt sponsors, I will mention, there's Takero's, basically espresso bar and cafe in Victoria Park. They've come on board, or they've come on board. They're basically going to get their logo put on the running singlet. So thank you so much for the donation that's coming from you to Olga and Gino. If you happen to be in Perth, Western Australia, then and you happen to be in the Vic Park area, it's very handy. If you've done a run around the Swan River, this is basically what I do on a Sunday. Do a long run around the Swan River. Fantastic place to go for a coffee or a juice. I quite like having a bit of fruit and yogurt. It's just a nice post-run snack. Great place to have it, and I'm sure Olga and Gino will be absolutely welcoming of you if you turn up. There's Takanini Fabrication in New Zealand, basically a small business that is owned by Liz and her husband. Basically, Liz Collier of Anything Is Possible. So that's an absolutely amazing pledge that came from that direction as well. So that's very much appreciated, Liz, and your support as always is very much appreciated. I shall look forward to wearing your logo with pride. And thirdly, at the moment, we've got Light and Easy, the company that basically, in my case, provide my breakfast and lunches. They deliver them once a week. It's convenient. It's nutritionally balanced. I know exactly what I'm eating. I know exactly what I'm putting in my mouth. I know how many calories are in there, and I know that it's got the good nutritional breakdown in terms of the proteins and the carbs and fats and so on and so forth. So the shirt sponsors, thank you so much. Individual sponsors that have come on board so far, thank you. And please give generously. And I look forward to celebrating with you all when we hit the $7,000 in the very near future. Now, the second part that I want to, the second reason for wanting to talk about the London Marathon, really goes back to a more general sort of concept of sort of positive thinking and goal setting and really just putting things out there to the universe, as they say, but and reaping really sort of amazing benefits from doing that. If you go back, what is it? It's currently, it's now February. It's towards the end of February in 2014. Basically, 6 months ago, I was still putting together my sort of goals and my plans and my starting to actually start planning again, and starting to dare to put actually put goals out there, I guess, and actually realizing that if I could set myself some goals, then I could achieve them. And at the top of my sort of running bucket list, I put the London Marathon. Basically, it's an event that I grew up watching on TV. It's something that I've secretly, sort of inside, had always really wanted to take part in, even when I was claiming that I hated running. Even when the movie Run, Fat Boy Run came out, and so like the character ends up declaring, I'm going to run the London Marathon. Inside I was thinking, me too. So all those little things have been going on that I kind of knew that deep down that I wanted to do it, and then once I'd actually made the changes I've made and got fit and realised that I could actually finish a marathon, sort of London became the thing that was at the very top of the list of what I wanted to do. There was no way at the time, even 6 months ago, there was no way that I could see how that was going to happen. There was no way I was even planning on that happening. in the near future, but I just knew that I would do it one day. I knew that one day I would apply, to enter the ballot. I would, one day I would be successful, and one day I would do it. Now that I no longer live in the UK, I actually live on the opposite side of the world. It was, it became a bit more of a logistical issue, as well as just the of getting through the ballot system to actually get into the event. So then I kind of put out there onto the internet that I was going to run from Perth to Brisbane, which is a crazy idea that is gaining more and more traction, and has got more and more believability about it, and is going to happen, will definitely happen. Following on from following the line of thought to do with positive thinking and putting things out there, it will happen. And people found it hard to understand why I would do that, because I was trying to explain it in terms of it being a practical demonstration of everything that the change that I'd made, and trying to take that kind of message out to the world and explain, say, this is what I've done, and this is kind of what you could do, if you put your mind to it. It's just a case of making a switch in your thinking. So it was suggested that I might want to start looking at doing this for charity. Eventually, after a little bit of thinking, I realised that would be it would align completely with everything that I've ever really wanted to try and do with all this. There was always sort of a charitable component to my running. I just basically approached the Heart Foundation in WA and said, hey, would you guys be like the official charity focus for this thing that I'm intending to put together? It's hopefully it would be a fairly high-profile thing. It's a fairly significant event that this overweight guy, this heart attack, at-risk person, changing their life around completely to the point where they're able to run over 5,000 kilometres from one side of this massive country of ours to the other. They got understandably quite excited, just in terms of my own story and the alignment that was there between what I'm doing and their mission and vision. So I basically got involved in a partnership with the Heart Foundation. Now, one of the things that they want me to do this year is to run in the Perth HBF Run for a Reason, basically as a Heart Foundation runner in that event, and we're going to be doing a number of other things that everything's going to be. It's just amazing actually the way that some of these things are working out, and there'll be more news about upcoming. Possibilities as and when I've got the news. But one of the key things that dropped out of even that first conversation was that in Western Australia, the Heart Foundation basically hold charity places in the London Marathon. I nearly fell off my chair. It was suggested that maybe the time frame was a little bit tight, because we were talking towards the end of 2013, so maybe April 2014 might be a bit too soon. So they suggested that if I wasn't interested in running it for 2014, then perhaps I would consider or think about it for 2015. Me being the type of person that I am, I practically ripped their arms off and said, no, I'll do it 2014. By the time we get to 2015, I'm intending to be training to run from one side of the country to the other. 2014 works out for me. It'll be amazing. Look, this is too great an opportunity. It's just kind of effectively fell in my lap. And how can I not turn it down? And it's just fantastic and amazing to think that less than 6 months ago, I was only just beginning to put at the top of my running bucket list, if you like, the London Marathon. That one day I wanted to run the London Marathon. Within a couple of months of that, the London Marathon basically appeared as an opportunity for me. and in 5 weeks' time, just over no, not 5, just over 7 weeks' time, I will be running in the London Marathon, which is just beyond any kind of comprehension I have at the moment. But all I can say is that I don't care what it is that you want to do. I don't care what it is, how big your dream and how big your goal is. Keep it in mind. Look, keep it inside you. Keep it burning away. Get it so that you've got a white heat, burning desire of something you really, really want to do, and put it out there. Put it out there big time. Put it out there in such a positive way that you when you talk about it, you just know that it's going to happen, and you know that it's going to come to you, and you know that it's going to be achieved. Because if I take nothing else from my experience in the last 6 months, is that whatever, I think that it's the quote, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve. And London Marathon is an absolute cast iron, tangible piece of evidence for me that if you are willing to put it out there, willing to put yourself out there, and willing to have so much positive belief in your own abilities and your own ability to realise your dreams, then dreams really can come true. It's almost magical. It's I don't want to be getting into the world of semi-mystical mumbo jumbo, but if you read things like Think and Grow Rich, if you get into things like the law of attraction and The Secret, ignore some of the more negative kind of spins that have been put out around there around things like The Secret, because if you actually read the book or watch the movie and take on board what they're actually saying and not just the headlines, it's not a case of just I think as some people think that you would sit there, wish that you had some money and suddenly the money appears. That's not what it's about. It's about this idea of having this positive mindset. It's about having a very crystal clear idea of what you want, putting it out there, and basically adopting an attitude that it will come to you, and taking the actions necessary that will get you there, and basically responding to some of the insights and some of the sort of you get flashes of inspiration that will take you from point A to point B along the overall route of getting to where you really want to get to. And as I say, for me, the experience of the London Marathon, look, 2 years ago I was or just over 2 years ago I was well over 140 kilos. I couldn't run for the bus. I could barely increase my walking pace to get to the bus. If I walked 100 metres, then I would be aching for a week. I made a decision, and obviously there's been an awful lot of work that went into it, but I made the decision I wanted to change my life, and I made the decision I wanted to run a marathon. I did it. It happened because there was that positive belief there, and the action to go with that was basically put in. The effort was put in, the work was done. The inspiration then came that I wanted to run the London Marathon, amongst other things. I mean, I would love to run New York, and I'd love to run Boston. I'd love to run the Outback Marathon in Australia, and some of these other things that I've never even knew existed that I'm now reading about. There are these things that are there, but the London Marathon was put there. The London Marathon was put there on a list on the Facebook page less than 6 months ago, and in 7 weeks' time I will be flying to London to run it. If that is not absolute tangible proof that if you go after your goals then you can achieve them, then I don't know what is. If you're not convinced by that, if you're not convinced by I'm a cynical person. Okay, and I'm telling you now that I am now a great believer in the magic of goal setting, and if you can truly put your mind to it, then you can tap into that magic too, and you can start living the amazing life that you've always dreamed of living, and you can start doing the things that you've always wanted to do, and start now. Start today, and just tune into that positive thinking and leave the negative stuff behind. Okay, so on that note, I'll speak to you next week, and whatever it is you want to do, go for it.